It seems like the Snyder Cut has reinvigorated the DCEU, and fans are chanting at studio executives to restore the SynderVerse. And although I really like the Snyder Cut and really everything it did for the characters, Warner Brothers has made it very clear that won't be happening, and they won't be continuing with this universe anytime soon. So we're stuck in a little bit of a middle ground. We're getting spin-offs and sequels to the majority of these characters, but no Justice League follow-up? It doesn't really seem right. Since recasting and looking at different actors for these roles is kind of what I do on this channel, I thought this would be a good opportunity to take a look at these characters and reimagine them. Not only going forward, but also maybe attaching them to a new universe, either for Robert Pattinson's Batman or just for fun, and baking them into my own Batman universe that I've already cast. Either way, that role for Batman has already been filled, but we still have to tackle those 5 other actors who were featured in the Snyder Cut and would need recasting for this new universe. So today we are tackling and recasting the Justice League, but only those characters that were prominent in Justice League. So sorry Green Lantern, you won't be in this video. Today we're casting Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. So let's recast the Justice League. As I mentioned before in this video, I did an entire casting series for Batman, the Robins, and his villains in previous series of videos. I ended up going with Karl Urban for the titular character for many reasons, and see me go into a deeper dive of why I picked those characters, I'd check that out. But as for our characters today, first let's tackle Superman. He is the most iconic superhero that there is. There's pretty much no denying that. Now, Henry Cavill in my eyes is Superman, and honestly, other than Christopher Reeve back in the 80s, there is no other Superman in my mind. The role has been synonymous with their faces, and it almost seems criminal to let Cavill go without ever really getting a truly great Superman film, since he's so perfect for this role. But still, if we're moving on in the franchise and rebooting and recasting, we need someone who can fill this void. Now, I went a little bit younger here, because I'd like to see this Superman be the Superman for a while. Someone who could be cast in this role and run with it, and live in it for some time. Now, I have seen some names like Michael B. Jordan floating around there for Superman for this new universe, but I feel like Superman is a role that needs a new face, one that hasn't been around a lot, and hasn't been attached to many roles. Much like Reeves and Cavill, I want an actor who just is Superman. Now, we need an actor who looks like a god, but one with gentleness. We need someone who can pull off the suit, but almost have that regal nature. There is no better choice here than David Corenswet. Sure, he has shown his talents in roles like in The Politician, but he's not a huge name yet, and I love that about him. He has the face and the build, but also has that gentle touch.
This is kind of a thing I do with people. Maybe it was just what you needed.
The way he talks, he doesn't feel egotistical, he's calm, well-spoken, and he just feels like Superman.
I grew up on a farm in Missouri, so we had to drive a half hour to get to the picture show. And when I looked up at that enormous screen, I suddenly knew what life was supposed to feel like, what being alive was supposed to mean. It was like there was something somewhere out there waiting for me.
So David Corenswet as Superman. Next up, we have The Flash, actually my favorite character within the DC universe. Now, it seems like everyone is a little hot or cold on Ezra Miller's version of The Flash. I actually like him, but I feel like at times he's just too much. He's a little too shifty-eyed, or even sometimes just goes a little bit beyond that and gets annoying. But can we talk about how he runs for a second? Like, I know they're probably trying to do something less typical, but man, does this look weird. Either way, Ezra Miller as The Flash has always been one that I felt that could be improved on. I do want that awkward nature, but not to the degree that Ezra sells it. I want someone who can have that nature where they try and find their feet while talking, but I also want someone who can be cool and just not this far out there. I mean, Grant Gustin is the perfect choice, but unfortunately, he's already in the CW universe, and you probably shouldn't tackle it here, so we gotta look elsewhere. Now, again, I want an unknown actor here, because I think this could be a star-making performance. I actually went with an actor who I feel like is very unknown, but is due to become a big star. That man is Kyle Allen, who, yes, shares the same last name as Barry Allen. Recently, I saw him in the Map of Tiny Perfect Things, and I thought, wow, this guy is way too talented for a movie like this. He does have that little bit of a goofy persona and that high energy teenage nature.
I'm Mark. I had a quick question.
Okay.
I was wondering, this is gonna sound really strange. got really bizarre. But are you experiencing any kind of temporal anomaly in your life?
But he can also do the emotional side as well.
Saw you go to the hospital. I'm not gonna try and take you away from her. Can't do that.
I also like to see the Flash working within a team, and I just can't see Ezra Miller's Flash doing that. With Kyle Allen's version, I feel like he could break down those barriers and become really interesting here. He also is a professional dancer, so his movement and his action in the character would be in really good hands, and hopefully he'd do a better version of that run. I think this really is a match made in heaven. I think he's got the right type of comedic, awkward tone that's perfect for the Flash.
Yeah, and I called the number and some guy picked up, who does have a daughter, but she's 8. He seemed really upset that I was using his personal misfortune to try and meet a girl. Which is fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So Kyle Allen as the Flash. Now, if we're talking about the Flash and improving on the Justice League, it's worth mentioning how much the Snyder Cut improved on Ray Fisher's Cyborg. Before the Snyder Cut, Cyborg was kind of a nothing character, but afterwards, I find him much tougher to recast. But still, I think there is a lot more room to explore this character. Now, I want someone who can really sell the emotion here, but have range. I think we definitely deserve a solo movie for Cyborg, and one that can definitely expand into that larger universe. I went with Calvin Harris Jr., who is definitely an up-and-coming talent. He impressed me in Waves, where he shows a great look into another father-son dynamic as well.
Give him to me. Tyler, give me the keys.
I need to go.
You're not going anywhere. Give me the keys.
Bullshit, watch me.
Watch your mouth.
Hey, what's going on?
This is bullshit.
Don't talk to your mother like
She's
that.
not my mom. All right, you're not my fucking mom. My real mom is dead.
He's shown he's a powerhouse performer and another up-and-coming star. I think he can do Cyborg wonderfully for those emotional beats, and then later into that dry humor.
I'm just wondering if your distaste for the show is affecting your ability to appreciate the musical complexity of the song.
So Calvin Harris Jr. as Cyborg. Next up we have Aquaman, a character who's kind of been changed a lot for these films. Now don't get me wrong, I love Jason Momoa, but I do think he was a little undercut and simplified in both versions of Justice League. Although he does really shine in a solo film, I think if we were going to change it here, we'd want to go more true to the comics. Now I don't think you have to go back to the pretty boy nature, but I think we could go with a little bit more updated version and a little bit of that touch of Momoa as well. I think we still do need a character who can be raw and brutal and have that power behind them. That's why I think Alexander Skarsgård is the perfect mix. I mean, he can pull off that look as we saw in Tarzan, but he can also bring in that high and mighty nature.
It's simple for you. The war ends, you go home the winner. Your conscience is clear.
Oh, is your conscience not clear?
But I can see him being an older seasoned Aquaman with that little bit of rage and anger driving him. I think he could do something really interesting with this role. So Alexander Skarsgård as Aquaman. Lastly, we have Wonderwoman. Now, say what you want about Wonder Woman 84, but Gal Gadot is the hardest to replace. Beyond Batman and even Henry Cavill's Superman, for some reason Gal Gadot seems so perfect in these movies. She has really nailed this role. I'd have the toughest time seeing any other actress don that iconic costume. I love her look, the persona she brings, even down to her accent. I want to capture as much of that as possible without being too samey. She still has to have that godlike presence and feel approachable yet intangible. And there's no better choice than Elodie Yung. Now, of course, she already portrayed another comic book character in the past, Elektra in Daredevil, and I almost didn't consider her for this role because of that. But I have to look back at Chris Evans and how I just couldn't see him as Captain America until he just was. She has the look, the voice, and the abilities.
Welcome me properly, soldier. Don't keep the Queen of Egypt waiting.
And she also has that almost intangible feeling that I was talking about. She's mysterious and has that godlike nature.
There's always this glorious darkness inside you. That's why I took you to Roscoe Sweeney's.
She's also proven as well in Daredevil that she can do action and doesn't shy away from it. So Elodie Yung as Wonder Woman. So there's my version of the Justice League. Let me know your choices in the comments below. And if you haven't already, go back and watch those Batman ones. And make sure you subscribe. I am going to be recasting live action Disney next, which should be a lot of fun. That being said, Thank you for watching, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.